Welcome to Tiger Wolf. I'm Josh, and this is David.
Please be aware, this podcast contains strong language and spoilers.
So, David, how did you train your dragon?
That came out a lot more awkward than I expected it to.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know. It just...
It wasn't a comment about your fiance. She's a scorpion. Oh, wait.
It's
It's a good thing she doesn't listen to this.
Yeah, she would stab me. I'm pretty sure.
Only because she doesn't dare harm me for your wrath. She'll incur more anger from you by harming me than harming you.
Probably. To be fair, that's probably true.
Let's talk about the movie.
Terrible. Yep. All right. So, The Hidden World. Where do you want to start with this?
I wasn't going to start there.
What? It's the subtitle to the movie.
Oh, spoilers. Oh wait, we already warned you. Well, this is awkward. How you doing? You want to start with the story and the
narrative.
yeah.
Yeah, we can. I definitely feel like it kept the same overarching core narrative that were in the first two.
I think
Try to embrace change.
essentially, yeah. And I think that that's a solid idea to do for like a series like this. And the fact that like one, it keeps reiterating those values in different ways, especially when it comes to something like change being a part of it.
Yeah.
Which is a good way to actually teach that as a thing.
Yeah.
Because just it being a one-off and then like this next one's gonna have a different theme to it. Like that's cool too, but also like then you're kind of depending on other series to have a theme that matches, just for there to be consistency. Because these are kids' movies.
Yeah.
And like this is like the age range where they're learning social skills and stuff too.
Yeah.
For the most part, like we're big kids, so
Yep. Yeah.
yeah. So I think that it's a solid plan to do it that way, and then they can just make another movie series that is as good based on other themes and like do like that.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it isn't something that is not unheard of for movie companies to do. I'm sure I could think of something.
Mhm.
I haven't seen all of the Toy Story ones, but Monsters Inc. Have very similar values in Monsters Inc. and Monster Academy
University or whatever.
Yeah. They had very similar like values related to them. So I say that I think that I like the consistency spread throughout.
Yeah. I think like in the first one, it's, they're the enemy, they're the enemy, they're the enemy. Oh, maybe they're not all the enemy. And then in the second movie, it was a different group of people screaming they were the enemy. And then ended up one of them flipped
And
sides.
them having to right. So there was that teachable moment.
Yeah.
Like Hiccup's like, they're not the enemy. And then I'm sorry, you continue your thought.
And then, this one, it was still one person is clinging to the fact that they are the enemy. Yes, there are other villains in the movie who wanted to exploit the dragons, but they were much more minor compared to the one dragon hunter that was clinging to his hatred.
I don't think it was necessarily a hatred so much as he was clinging on to that's who he was.
Mm.
He didn't
The
care.
old world.
Yeah, well, not necessarily even that. He didn't care his arrogance, basically, his ego. His story was that he had a very similar experience to Hiccup, or depending on.
He made the other decision.
He made the other decision that Hiccup didn't make. and that it made him a hero, and that's why he kept doing it. It wasn't about whether or not they were the enemy. It was about what it got him and how it made him feel.
Hmm.
It was, I mean, so this goes along with the value teaching too. Is teaching that, you know, these aren't values to be praised.
Yeah.
Being
Arrogance.
full yourself only for self gain and that, which is something you'll find in pretty much every
kid's movie.
every kid's movie ever, which is ironic considering the world of our state now. I mean, our state of our world now.
Yeah.
I'm not dyslexic. You're dyslexic. Oh wait, sorry.
I am dyslexic. I mean, that's to kind of tie into that. It's kind of funny. I have a very diverse group of friends,
That's an understatement.
and there are individuals who, you know, say certain other members of my friends group are very sensitive. And the only thing I can think is, how can anyone in our generation be sensitive when we grew up on things like South Park and Happy Tree Friends?
Neither one of those are for kids. I'm serious.
They're not, but those were things that most
And
people
not-
in our generation saw.
Most people you know.
Nah.
I mean, to be fair, there are certain things about all your friends that are consistent. And a morbid sense of humor is one of them.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people who are not. And also, like, whilst growing up, you kind of lose some of the things that you interacted with, like the values that you learned from them and stuff like that. There might be a little bit there, but that doesn't mean it is part of your whole who you are now as much.
I think the main one I still latch on to is probably the reason it's still my favorite movie of all time, Milo and Otis. Gotta save my friends. Hey, I found him.
I mean, I can't argue with that. I'm very much a defender too. You're an aggressor defender. I'm a wall defender.
But yeah, it just, I mean, getting back to the How to Train Your Dragon part of it, I think the
That's the whole thing, David.
the change
I know,
part
I
of it.
know.
I think I like the first one the most out of all of them, including this most recent one. I did like the visual aesthetics for the armor in this one. I did like the fact that there was definitely a noticeable character growth between, you know, the first one, Hiccup in the first movie, and Hiccup at the end of this movie.
I mean, there's a noticeable difference between Hiccup in the first movie, Hiccup in the second movie, and Hiccup in the third movie.
Yeah.
And I think they did it well.
Yeah. He definitely, like, I thought it was interesting that in the third movie, there was, you know, they had the flashback dealing with Stoic, which, you know, because of events
Because
that
he wasn't a character in it.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Well, as in the same way.
Yeah, he wasn't there physically anymore, but he was still a large part of Hiccup's worldview.
And he was. I mean, he did a really good job of raising a son that could lead these people.
Yeah.
And it has in large part due to the fact that he's naturally his mother's son, too.
Yeah.
Because he looked at things different.
Yeah, he had that slightly different view to everything. His dad was, for most of the first movie, heavily embroiled into tradition.
He was stoic.
Yes, stoic.
Huh.
And his stubbornness was vast. Because he was known as Stoic the Vast.
I mean, so it's almost like they named these people off of character traits.
I don't know. Fish legs.
Because he was a chicken shit. So he wobbled. Remember, he was
He was-
a bit of a coward in the first one. Less so since then.
Yeah. Snotlot,
Is a whiny bitch.
whiny, arrogant bitch. Well, less of a bitch in this one.
More of an arrogant.
Yeah. The scale's kind of tilted a bit more.
It's not loud. Excuse me.
The Tufts are.
You
I
mean
think
the
they
nuts?
had the least.
You mean the nuts?
Yeah, the Nuts. They had the least development. I think. I mean, it was there, but
no. Actually, I think that they had more development than Snotlout. To be perfectly honest, he was pretty much the same from the second movie to the third. They had it was an older version of what they were, which isn't necessarily not character development.
Yeah,
Like the whole beard
true.
thing.
Yeah, God,
I thought
It
that was
wasn't a beard.
that was pretty solid. All right, that was pretty
It
solid.
was, but it wasn't a beard. And then his very, very angry outburst when it got cut.
Like his eyes went everywhere.
The guy's like, "I'm out."
Doesn't he have a rage moment in like every movie?
Yeah. And usually, whoever he's fighting goes, "I'm out."
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he looks absolutely insane. Hence the nut in their name. And then the sister.
Yeah. Just annoyed her way to freedom.
Well, annoyed her way to leading
Yeah.
the enemy to them.
To them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm pretty sure most of that was not him playing the field.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure she was
No.
grading him.
he was clearly irritated. And then she said a thing, and he was like, "Oh, there's
I
a
can
thing."
use this.
Yeah, definitely.
He was definitely about ready to snap her neck instead of that pencil.
Oh, you released the dragons.
He looked like he was about to laugh.
It was. I don't think he was about to laugh, but I was laughing. That was funny. The whole scene, honestly, honestly, having that moment of just her, because she didn't get a whole lot of screen time previously
Not really.
by herself, or like as a primary part of the scene.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. Like, you got to see a little bit more of her personality and the fact that she's a 20-something and still absolutely nuts.
Yep.
I'm guessing the early 20s.
Yeah, maybe late teens, early 20s. Somewhere between 17 23.
Sounds good.
We'll guess. Why not? Whatever.
Honestly, I think that Astrid had as much development as them. It was just development with her relationship with Hiccup mostly, though.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she was. She was already a solid character, so she didn't have needed development. If that makes sense.
Yeah, she was the strong female lead.
And she was good. And taking the cues from his mom on how to be supportive for him in the right ways was a nice touch for the movie.
Yeah, it was. You know, she was like,
Because she's been through those positions before. She's like, this is the moment when you do this.
go.
Right.
He's only going to listen to you.
It wasn't only. It was, if he's going to listen to anybody, it's going to be you.
And starts rattling off. Yep. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And Hiccups, he's just solid through and through.
Yeah, I mean, he starts out.
Seeing him take my beard, though, that was kind of weird.
It's a little bit more full than yours.
Well, that's because I'm not a Viking.
That's fair. But
I wish mine was a little bit thicker. It looks thick, which is nice, but it's
not.
not as thick as it
this
looks.
is down here is
this,
thick.
Yeah, the goatee area, because I had a goatee for so long.
Like, even this part for me is finally thickening up. It was just right here that took forever.
This isn't. Does it look as thin as it looks when I'm brushing it? Oh, I trimmed this.
A little forward, a little lower. There you go. That area looks thick.
Oh, that's because I trimmed
You
this,
trimmed
and
up
it's
there.
hard to get it a straight edge because my
Round
hands in the way.
faces.
My hands in the way when I'm shaving it to
Yeah.
for the edge. So I probably trimmed some of the hairs there too.
Probably. But like Hiccup went from what everyone thought was the throwaway member of the village. More than likely.
Yes and no. Like he
yeah,
was still the leader's son. He was still the leader's son, and they respected that. And they didn't have a care to listen to him much, and that was partly his father's fault for not having a care to listen to him much.
Yeah.
Because he's had these insane ideas and like inventions and stuff like that. But the thing is he was consistently successful with them too, so they respected that.
Yeah. And then, suddenly he shows up with a dragon.
They didn't respect that as much.
No. But neither did his dad initially. And then,
Well, that's
Toothless
because as
was
far as
like-
he's concerned, dragons are the reason his wife died.
Yeah. And then Toothless flop. He's alive.
Oh my god, kilo fuck! Oh my god. Yeah, and the graphically, moving on to graphics here, the like you already mentioned the armors,
The
and stuff.
armor, the age
detail
scaling
level,
of the characters.
it got great. Even with Toothless,
Yeah.
like you could see more of the bigger plate scales on his face and stuff like that between. From the first to the second, and from the second to the third,
Yeah.
like he's clearly gotten a little bit older himself.
And then he had his
It's-
spines were
It's
a little
the dragon
longer.
version of these scroofy beards that they were starting to grow and stuff.
Yep. He was finally getting his scales.
What was interesting to me, on less of a graphical sense, is that he couldn't do the Night Fury thing anymore, but he could do an Alpha thing.
It's
And-
like it overrode it.
When he became an Alpha in the second one,
Yeah.
because he started doing the blue glow thing, which wasn't something Night Furies were known to do
Yeah.
previously. As far as there wasn't a whole lot of lore on them
Yeah.
already in there.
What was it?
But also
The
it's
unholy
considered
union
like,
of lightning and death.
but also considering the fact that like they introduced the alphas as, and then he was an alpha. Like they introduced the alphas as being like a type of dragon,
Yeah.
and
This
not
type of dragon
a
is
status of dragon.
typically,
The giant ones with the tusks and
yeah,
that, like
they are typically the alphas because they're the biggest.
yeah. And I really liked the alpha control that they displayed him having in this one.
Yeah.
Um,
Like everybody's like, yes, boss.
yeah. Oh, the dragons were like, yeah, okay, whatever
Right.
you say, literally whatever you say.
Now, fire.
Even when he was he had the muzzle on, they still listened to him.
He'll get out at some point. How do you know?
I mean,
or
or
new.
the scene in the hidden world where all the dragons are just they're flying around like this is an expected moment for them because they kind of knew what was going on in that.
Yeah.
But then he's just like, shut up, and they all shut the front door. Like they
Yeah.
just shut the fuck up and just stood there and watched. Like
Yeah.
they were like, yes, we know. You're the boss.
You the boss. We got it. I kind of didn't like the Light Fury aspect of it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I liked not just the contrast and color difference between them, but I did like her ears, or I say ears, but
Yeah. Her sound receptors.
her sound receptors, assumptively, were more rounded than Toothless's. Her
Yeah.
her tail fins were also more soft or more rounded.
She also had
It's-
a double tail fin thing going and the softer dorsal fin going
the
on,
softer dorsal fins.
which was pretty interesting.
I like the fact that she gave off the appearance of, yes, she was a dragon, probably something that could kill you, but visually she was
Softer?
softer and could lure her prey in a little bit with that.
I mean, and that also goes
then,
to
poof,
like that's not
camouflage.
necessarily a good thing.
Yeah. And then poof, camouflage.
I'm at odds with it too because I don't necessarily think that she should look softer.
Yeah.
I mean, Astrids look spiny as fuck. But also like was she just an albino or something? Because it didn't make sense to me that, and they accented it not making sense even at the end, that she was white, because you would expect it to be,
like
at least a similar like tone or something like that. Like, I don't know how to describe it. But my point basically lies in the fact that
they were clearly a Siberian Husky and a Alaskan Malamute. They're both dogs. They look similar, but they're not the same breed.
I mean, they don't look that similar though, other than
Generic body shape and
what's it called? Silhouette.
yeah.
Silhouette is how they look similar.
Yeah.
But just the fact that like everything about them is more different. They have similar abilities too.
Yeah.
And then their offspring had a mix of those colors. That was the weirdest part for me, because
That's
it's not just that the Night Furies are boys and Light Furies are girls.
Yeah.
That means that there's some literally genetic difference of the coloration.
That's why I brought it up. Maybe she is from the hidden world, whereas Toothless was born in the world of man. And that's why he looks different. His line, yes, they initially were probably similar, but
why
his
would she
line
need camouflage in the
adapted.
hidden world?
Maybe for hunting to go out. Maybe that's how they adapted.
Well,
Her
I don't know.
adapted. Whereas
I feel like it's-
adapted to match the
Like,
night
even
sky.
if it's like an albino thing, the coloration of the kids doesn't make sense because it's a recessive gene.
That's why I'm suggesting they at this point they
I don't
are
know.
an Alaskan Malamute and a Siberian Husky. They look silhouette wise, they look similar, but they are two technically different dog breeds.
Oh, yeah, but
But
their
when
fur
you-
patterns are similar too.
When you
That was my point there.
breed them, you can clearly see the different parts.
Yeah, you get a mute husky.
Yeah.
There's a term for it, actually. I think my boss has. It's either or had. I don't know. I don't remember. No, has. It's a floofer. It's a big old floofer.
Yeah.
Either part Malamute or full Malamute. Okay.
Malamutes are typically more fluffy than
Yeah, this is
they're
it's a
the
floofer.
fluffy looking wolf dogs, whereas like Huskies tend to have a bit smoother fur in comparison.
I mean,
Like Alex
yeah.
or Sora.
No, Sora was floof. Sora was on her way to
Smooth
floof. Not really. Like if she got a little older though, she would definitely have turned into a floofer before becoming a smooth girl.
Yeah.
Alex was a floofer.
Yeah. He was fluff. That's all he was. He was fluff and bones. But I mean, that's the.
Speaking of the hidden world, why don't we go ahead and transition? Unless you
Yeah.
add.
That's where I was.
Oh, that's
I
what you're
was
doing.
going
Okay,
because of the scale. I was about to bring up the scale thing for Astrid's dragon.
which we can't remember the name of.
Yeah, I can't think of its name.
Terrible names.
The fact that it just.
Oh yeah. Well,
Did you
yeah.
notice that only certain eggs illuminated when it went by?
No, it looked like all of them did. There was a whole ton of them that did.
Only certain, like there were some that didn't illuminate the same color.
Oh,
So I think the ones that illuminated might have been the same breed as.
no.
Her.
There's no way it was that many of just that breed.
I don't know.
Considering
bunch
there
of
was only
small
like
ones.
one other one in the movie.
There were 5 of her type.
Oh, 5.
Look, we've gone almost 3 movies with literally only one Night Fury. Literally only one Night Fury.
Because there was a guy going around hunting them.
And then you had a bunch of the
Which
The
that also
Grumblebacks.
weirded me out about that. He just let the Light Fury go.
yeah.
He used her to lure Toothless. And that didn't work. But he was okay with her just going then? Probably because he was going to hunt her later.
Yeah, probably. He had the
enjoyed the
mindset
hunt.
of I would find her again.
I don't know. It was just kind of weird to me.
one of your arguments is, the fact that how do they eat in the hidden world?
Yeah, how would they eat in the hidden world unless they're eating each other?
Which is a chance. Which is a chance. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. I feel like Toothless and Hiccup probably have the same values, and cannibalism is not on the list.
probably. I did like the fact that, going back real quick to the change thing, that Hiccup was like, go. You belong over there.
Oh, we can't talk about this part.
So,
yeah. I mean, the hidden world was interesting. It was all basically neon
bioluminescent.
hole in the ocean.
Yeah, it was very bioluminescent. But, like, Astrid's dragon got the nifty illumination to her scales.
Which was cool because
But Toothless didn't.
Well, I figured that was just because of the breed of Astrid's dragon.
Maybe.
Because when you looked at the other dragons that were there, they didn't have it either.
Yeah, maybe. I thought that was interesting that.
Oh, I really liked one of the new dragons in it, the one with the
moose
antlers.
Horn?
Yeah.
The moose horn one, who was like, my little friend. I wouldn't do that if I were you. But like we were talking about on the way back, a couple of years later.
Yeah, we figured probably about 10 years later.
Yeah, somewhere around 10 more than likely. Hiccup, Astrid, their two kids go to the waterfall.
the hole in the world.
Yeah. And it just so happens that Toothless, the Night Fury, or Toothless, the Light Fury, and their
I think
pups
Toothless
are
probably.
there.
I think Toothless probably likes to go up there because he is a surface welder.
Yeah, that's where he's.
He may be dark like a drow, but he's a surface welder.
Yeah. And then, sees a boat.
Oh, yeah. And he's like, I'm going to have to kill somebody.
It's, Woogagoosh.
Maybe it was his turn to watch.
Maybe. It may have just been. Maybe he looked, I got today. But boss, I got today. Okay.
And he didn't recognize Hiccup at first probably because of the beard.
To be completely honest, it was probably the beard. So who the hell are you? You smell familiar.
I will fucking murder you right. Hiccup!
His eyes go wink, and you're like, oh god, he's about to tackle. He's not eating your dad.
How old do you think Toothless is?
His mom in the second one said Toothless was a few months older than Hiccup.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So they don't really address how long the longevity is for dragons in that world. So, but I would assume it's probably comparable to most dragons in most other worlds. So probably long. So he's probably still technically a young, like a teenager to a young adult.
Well, I think he's then if he's only a couple months older than Hiccup, probably supposed to maintain like comparative age symmetry.
But yeah,
I also like that. Like previously, he was kind of like Hiccup's intelligent companion.
Yeah,
and in this, he's like, I don't know a better way to say this, but his own person a bit more.
Yeah, instead of being the companion in this one, a D&D reference, he felt more like a player character versus an animal companion.
Well, I mean, in the first one, he kind of is too, because he's learning how to be working with Hiccup because it was necessary for flying at the time.
Yeah, it was necessary for survival at the time. But yeah, that's my best way of describing it. In this one, he seemed more like a independent player character versus like an animal companion for a ranger or dragoon. Or
I mean,
whatever.
even then, like, I guess he always kind of has been, because in 2, he became an alpha.
Excuse me.
So I guess that's not that. I don't know. Maybe it's because in the beginning of the movie he was doing like the whole playing fetch thing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where it was like,
He was having fun.
I mean, yeah, he was playing because he's still an animal.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm glad it like, because they're intelligent. Like, he's intelligent enough to actually understand what Hiccup's saying to him,
Yeah.
not just respond to the tone type of thing like dogs do.
Yeah. I also like the fact that in this one, it showed a bit more communication between the dragons themselves.
Oh yeah, yeah, because there was more intricacies to how he told the dragons what to do. Not Hiccup, but
Toothless.
Toothless. Yeah. As far as and like there was clearly specific instructions in what he was saying to them.
Yeah.
Which was interesting.
You got anything else you want to?
I think that
You
pretty
want
much
to
covers it. So, survey says
I'd
go
see
see
it
the
again.
movie.
Well, I suppose that's the end of the episode.
Please like, comment, follow, and share. And also, more importantly, thank you for listening.
Take care. Bye.